Hello everyone and welcome back for another Monday video. I'm actually going to do my outro at the beginning. So like this video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet because I post a video every single month. Put on the little bell for post notifications so you know when I post a video. I've literally been sitting here for like 45 minutes trying to film this video and I've had the hardest time trying to articulate how I feel about this video and making it. It's just something that I realized that I kind of needed to post because, you know, when I talk about YouTube to my friends or to people that ask me, well, why do you do YouTube? I say because you can literally post anything you want and like it is such an open space to talk, communicate, find a community, and I think this is something that needs to be talked about. It's something that weighs on my mind all the time, and you know, as you can see from the title, it has to deal with gun control in America and gun violence. And this past was the El Paso shooting and the Dayton shooting. Over 30 people have died and many more injured from both shootings within 24 hours of each. I was on Twitter this weekend, and I love Twitter because it gives me a lot of information about things that are happening at the moment. I saw a tweet about a shooting and I thought it was just the one shooting, and I'm looking and I'm like, wait, those numbers aren't right. And I realized another shooting just happened. This is truly so hard to talk about. Why should I have to talk about this? This isn't something that should be an issue in America right now. There's so many problems in our country, and this, like, for me, like, this is the one that needs to be solved immediately. I can't believe it hasn't been solved already, that there are so many people dying. There are 100 Americans that die every single day from gun abuse. Yes, like mass shootings obviously are a thing for media to blow up because it is a huge deal, but there's much more to gun violence and abuse than what is talked about. I am leaving in the description all of these articles that I was reading over the last few days and the weekend about gun violence and sort of what we can do, and also like what are the actual statistics. There's so much domestic abuse and higher suicide rates because people have such easy access to guns in America. A very interesting article that I read over the weekend was about different ways to acquire guns in 16 different countries. I think what I want to say in this video, like a very big thing that I want to just make clear, because I don't know who my audience is. People that are fighting for gun control immediately, we're not saying like every gun that is in America right now like needs to like be destroyed. That's not what we're saying. We just need to have background, like literally all around 100% background checks, because that is the main reason why there's all these mass shootings. Because I can go out and acquire a gun in an hour in no matter what state I could be in, and I might have a mental illness like that people don't know. Like you can acquire a gun so easily, and so many other countries have months and months of different processes and steps in order to acquire a gun. It should be a lot harder for someone, literally anyone, to have a gun. It's a weapon and it needs to be in the hands of people that can actually handle it and are very safe and go through all these safety procedures. I know, like, for devil's advocate, like, it's to protect myself, which is okay, a valid reason. But if you want to protect yourself using a gun, you need to go through a lot of criteria and background checks in order to have a gun. And the fact that so many countries in the world have had like 0 mass shootings in the last year and have very little mass shootings at all recently, it's because they have these procedures and steps and checks in line. And our government needs to do something about it, and we need to do something about it. We can't just say like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. Okay, just think about all of the people's lives that have been lost, and also just like all of the people that they've known or family members, and they've just been shopping at Walmart or praying at their place of worship, you know, like at a school as a child. It affects all of those people's lives so much more than mine. And at the same time, gun violence is affecting so many people that you don't even realize. Like, I was at the airport the other day, terrified that someone was just gonna somehow have a gun and sneak it through TSA, or just that baggage claim, just walked into an airport because they know there's a lot of people there and just opened fire. And the fact that I'm thinking about that, like, listen, I think about murder all the time. I think about someone kidnapping me 24/7. Not having gun control or gun laws that are more strict is having everyone in danger. Every single person in the United States is in danger at all times because anyone can go and just get a gun, and it's absolutely unbelievable to me. This is something that is so important to me that I think our next president needs to make sure is getting passed, like some kind of bill. I just wanted to state that, and like, here are my views, and I think it's very important. And there are, you know, I just don't want to leave my audience just like, oh, well, these are my thoughts. It's a really sad thing. Like, just empty-handed. There are many resources and things that we can do personally as a means to try and get our government and our elected officials working on gun control. So there are a lot of things that, you know, you feel so small and it's like, well, what can I do? Something that I have just done a few days ago, you can text this number, checks, and then they'll ask for your zip code and you give them their zip code, and then you can call your elected officials. It literally took me 2 minutes, like fully 2 minutes to do, and to leave them a voicemail and say, this is like, we need to make sure that we have background checks for anyone purchasing a gun. Leaving all those voicemails to your senators and to the people you've elected for office is super important. It gets your voice heard in a small way, but definitely in a way. Another thing that I actually did my past birthday was one of those Facebook fundraisers for every town for gun safety. Every town, and another one that I'll link in the description, Violence Policy Center, are different nonprofit organizations and research organizations that basically can help in terms of trying to stop gun violence. And you can donate to them as little as like $5, as much as you want, as a way to help different cities start research on their communities, as a way to stop illegal gun buying and marketing and like an underground market. No one who is trying to protect themselves or whatever needs a AR-15 or a rifle, like a huge rifle, or any kind of firearm that is shooting 100 rounds. I think the most important thing is to really pay attention to our presidential candidates for this upcoming election in 2020. That's the person we're going to be electing to office, and they're the person ultimately that's going to be able to put a stop to this. It's infuriating that Donald Trump isn't doing anything about it immediately. And the person that we have running our government is someone that needs to realize the threats that guns have on their citizens, and their main concern should be the safety of all of their citizens. And I think there's many candidates that have the knowledge and know that this is a huge priority for our country. It is something that we're all speaking out about, and I think if you can do anything, I think it should be to take the time to look up all the candidates, to listen to the debates, to see what they're talking about on the news, and see sort of who is going to run our country, and know that this is one of the biggest issues that's happening right now. I don't want my kids to live in this world, and I don't want to live in this world, and we can't just flee this country, because that's not going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is actually doing something about it and not just fleeing the problem. And I don't want my family or my friends or anyone to be in this kind of danger at all times. And I truly, like, thoughts and prayers are not enough anymore, because that's something that I love to do. Like, I love praying, and I love praying that this world can be a better place, but we need to take action. I just hope that everyone who watches this video realizes that we're not trying to take away guns. We're trying to make sure that everyone is safe in this country. And I guess that's it. I don't know how long I've talked. I've rambled. I've just had such a hard time filming this video. So thank you if you watched it. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next Monday. Bye.